Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel, the Scottish Model Railway Guy. So I've been doing this for just over a year. To some it might seem like quite a lot in that year, but I wasn't doing it all the time. But it's time for a layout tour, I think, for all the things I have done. Now this area, everybody that's been here before will be very familiar with, but there are lots more, and we're going to delve into each one and the challenges that it brought. An example of a recent addition is the ability to change my points. Now, you can see every time I change my points, the lights go off, and I'll explain these things and my mistakes, but also we'll delve into all my sort of learnings behind the scenery that we've done as we have went. So hang on, here we go. And you know, one of the most important things I learned as I was doing this was that we should always be going for realism where we can. Now that realism can change, depends what country you're in, but on the whole, photography and model railway goes hand in hand. When you look at this scene, this scene looks pretty decent. It's one of the ones that I'm sort of most proud of that I've managed to put together with my basic learnings, but also perspective. And you can see if I pull it up there, you can see looking up into the sort of getting the sky into the scene, it completely changes it and it becomes that little bit more real. And that's what I went for from the beginning. It's could I actually pull off this situation where what I was doing had an element of realism to it. And I think in this particular scene at the front that you're very familiar with, I think I have to an extent. Now it's not where some of the total experts are, but that'll come. But adding little scratch made bushes, and that is actually Bickering bush. Look it up on Google, Bickering bush Kilmarnock if you like, and you'll understand why I did that. It's a particular area of the town that I live in. So yeah, this is the central part of the whole layout. Now we're going to look over to the left and see what's over there. And again, you can see I like to come down to eye level to do these things because I think that gives you the best perspective. So that is the sort of left wing of the layout. You can see lots of Scottish theme going on there. The CityLink buses from the 1990s. You can see your Strathclyde Transport Class 101. And then over to a sort of what you would find as a traditional church in Scotland. That would be a sort of stone built one. The stone colour would depend on the area, and you can see in the background there my sort of working area. Now this is up my loft. That's enough from that angle, and now I'm going to take you to another one to show how important the sort of eye level photography side of it is. And this is why it's important to come down to eye level, and this is why photography fits exactly with it. So as you can see it sort of catching into the background, it'll be coming into focus. We've got the height of the tree over there, and we've got these houses in the background. I'm just going to move this train by hand just to get it out of the way, and you can see the effect that has looking through that to the houses in the background, and it becomes okay. So this bush here isn't very real, but the scene becomes reasonably real as we kind of look around it, bring things into focus, bring the car up, and it adds that other element of realism to the scene. So that's out in the left wing, as is this little bit, where again I went to some efforts to try and get some lights there, and there's going to be lots more lights in this layout in the future, so that I can actually switch it off and switch off the big lights and take it for there with the small ones, so you can get that nighttime scene. Even with these very cheap characters, and I think I got, goodness knows how many, 100 or something for about a £5 off a Temu, you can still make them work for you, and you can still make that scene happen. So yeah, off to the village centre we go. And here we have it, the sort of village centre. Would it be a village with buildings that size? It would certainly be the peripheries of a town. And these are all Metcalfe models. They take, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours to build each, but what a fantastic part of the hobby that is, to be able to create a scene like that. Now I'm going to zoom right in so you can get a feel for just how real that can seem. These Metcalfe models are fantastic, and coupled with a couple of Hornby things going on there and some corgi die-cast models, you can really bring it to life, and I think it has. Now this is a sort of on the U shape of the layout, so you've got where we were, and then we're going round there, and there's an industrial zone just round the corner there, and round there is more Metcalfe models. I've stylised it to my sort of feel for the layout, which is the Scottish feel. Just down here at my Gaugemaster combi controller, which is controlling the whole layout, and it's DC, but in the future, once I get the layout to a place where I think it's, you know, fairly real, then we'll move to DCC. But that's a sort of tomorrow project, because I've got so much going on with it, it's difficult to keep up. But either way, we're going to jump over there and get a closer look. And when I say closer, I mean closer. You can see in the distance the village centre that we were just looking at, and again you bring the sky into play and it does begin to look real. Down here we've got a second station. Spent some time learning how to do some basic dry brushing on that Hunslet engine coat unit. And the ICI one, they all mean something to me. Hunslet's, or Barclays, was originally from Kilmarnock, Scottish Oil Agency in there, and my mum worked at ICI, which makes it important to me. So everything on the layout, even down to the Maersk oil situation. I used to work in the oil rigs, and it's a case of why not put something in there as a tribute to Maersk. Just coming around the corner, I don't normally do this, I'm going to follow the train for a wee bit, so you can see it going round the loop. Very difficult thing to do. And then you can see a sort of unfinished zone round there. I've not even got the white flashings round the top of it. And back to the level crossing. And back to Bickering Bush station and round. So on most of the layout, I prefer a sort of eye level look at it, but for some reason in this part, I think it needs a higher level look to understand what's going on. I think if you go down too low, you can't really see what is happening with it. Now this is this is the new part of the layout down here, and if you've got me on, I don't know, some of the other social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, you'll have seen these videos coming through of that area coming down to here, to this level. You can see a yard I made a wee while ago, and I've always liked that yard, even though it's not the sort of prettiest to look at. But one part I really do like that's new to the layout is over here. It's a deliberately messy area, and we'll get down to eye level on that. So this deliberately messy area over here, it's got oil drums and all sorts lying there, and I'll go down for a look in a wee minute. But the bit that nobody's really ever seen, and the bit that I'm working on going forward, is down there, and you can see even the loft roof isn't finished down there. It's going to be a farm area down in this zone, I believe. But these temu trees, I'm really curious to see your thoughts on them, because I think they look okay. I think they've turned out okay, and for me it's a bit of a win. They were very cheap. Could they be better? Absolutely. They're not perfect, but I think with a little bit of dry brushing on the trunks of the trees, it could turn out really well. But one of the areas that I'm really chuffed with, and I don't know why, is down here. I think the art of putting the double yellow lines on is overlooked. All this was done with white and yellow stickers and nothing more. These simple stickers you can get from a craft shop. That was a 3D printed sort of tanker. My paint job on it's terrible, but all in all it's turned out okay. But looking at this deliberately messy area over here, I'm going to zoom in a bit. It's got the detail of the electrical warning signs on the wee house. It's got working traffic lights right there. If you're lucky, you'll get to see them go. There you go, you're lucky. And that's controlled, believe it or not, by a controller that's in there. So the electrical signs actually do mean something, because there's a 5-volt circuit passing inside that wee house. And I'm just going to swing round very quickly round to here, and you can see this deliberately messy area left a disaster by some owner that doesn't look after his property. And yeah, that scene for me has turned out okay. Looks good with the train passing it, and I'm happy with that. But this is what it's all about. Scenes like this, where you see the train up close and personal, and you can see there's so much more to do, because you see some of the modelers that weather these things absolutely incredibly. But I'm quite proud of where I've got to in such a short space of time. Getting a scene like that just over a year ago, I never thought I'd get there, but here we are. Thoughts on it? I'd appreciate them. Either way, folks, thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping past the channel. I'm trying to keep this steady as I exit. And yeah, if there's anything at all, any questions, just give me a shout and I'll go through them. So thanks again, folks. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again. Thank you.